The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning, carried across light years of space to every major observatory on Earth. The signal's precision and complexity left no doubt. Humanity had finally made contact with an advanced civilization. The Krylonian Empire, as they called themselves, appeared as beings of ethereal beauty in their first transmission, their crystalline bodies refracting light in mesmerizing patterns. For 6 months, Earth celebrated. The Krylonians shared glimpses of their technology, promising to uplift humanity into an age of unprecedented prosperity. They spoke of peace, of cultural exchange, of medicines that could cure any disease. World leaders gathered in Geneva to welcome the first Krylonian diplomatic vessel. Behind closed doors, some military officials voiced concerns about the aliens' true intentions, but their warnings were dismissed as paranoid rhetoric. The truth revealed itself in fire and death. The diplomatic vessel was a Trojan horse, carrying within its elegant hull a weapon that disabled Earth's primary defense systems. As humanity watched in horror, thousands of Krylonian warships emerged from fold space, their crystalline hulls no longer beautiful but terrifying in their cold perfection. The first wave targeted military installations worldwide, but the Krylonians had underestimated human redundancy. Deep within mountains and beneath oceans, backup systems hummed to life. The aliens expected a swift surrender. Instead, they faced the first glimpse of humanity's tenacity. Colonel Sarah Chen, commanding Earth's lunar defense station, made the first successful counterattack. While Krylonian ships bombarded Earth's surface, she noticed a pattern in their shield modulation. The aliens' technology was superior, but it followed rigid, predictable protocols. Chen synchronized her station's outdated mass drivers to fire precisely between shield pulses. 3 Krylonian destroyers shattered into crystalline debris before they realized their vulnerability. The Krylonians responded with overwhelming force, but Chen's discovery spread rapidly through Earth's remaining command networks. Humanity's apparent technological inferiority masked an advantage. We could adapt. Our weapons were crude but unpredictable. Our tactics, refined through millennia of fighting ourselves, defied the logical patterns the Krylonians expected. Yet the cost was staggering. Major cities lay in ruins, their populations evacuated to vast underground shelters. The Krylonians, enraged by unexpected resistance, began targeting civilian areas indiscriminately. They transmitted a simple ultimatum: surrender or face extinction. In the United Nations emergency bunker, the Security Council received an unexpected message from Dr. Ayana Patel, head of the Quantum Computing Division at CERN. Before the invasion, her team had been studying the Krylonians' transmitted language. She discovered something that changed everything. Their supposedly benevolent messages contained embedded quantum signatures that allowed them to map Earth's defenses. But Patel had done more than decode their treachery. She had reversed engineered the quantum signatures, giving humanity its first real weapon against the invaders. As the Security Council debated surrender, Patel's team worked frantically to upload a virus into the Krylonian battle network. The war was about to enter its second phase. Humanity had learned the hardest lesson of all. In the cosmos, trust must be earned. The Krylonians thought they had crushed Earth's spirit, but they had only awakened something far more dangerous: human ingenuity born of desperate survival. As the first month of war drew to a close, Earth's remaining leaders gathered in the depths of the Cheyenne Mountain complex. The Krylonians had sought to break humanity's will. Instead, they had forced humanity to evolve, to adapt, to unleash its full potential. The next phase of the war would show them exactly what humanity was capable of when pushed to the brink of extinction. In orbit, Colonel Chen watched the crystalline ships maneuver with their perfect precision and smiled grimly. The aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had given humanity no choice but to win at any cost. The stars themselves would remember what happened next. Dr. Patel's quantum virus struck the Krylonian fleet like digital lightning. Their crystalline ships, so dependent on precise mathematical patterns, suddenly found their navigation systems speaking in chaos. Several capital ships collided, their perfect formations dissolving into disarray. But this was only the beginning of humanity's response. In underground facilities across the globe, humanity's greatest minds have been working tirelessly. The Krylonian attack had done something unprecedented. It had united Earth's scientific community with a single purpose. Chinese quantum physicists collaborated with American AI researchers. Russian aerospace engineers shared breakthroughs with Japanese materials scientists. The old borders meant nothing now. The first breakthrough came from an unlikely source. Dr. Marcus Rivera, a theoretical physicist from Brazil, had been studying the debris from destroyed Krylonian ships. Their crystalline technology wasn't just aesthetic, it was fundamental to their power generation. The crystals channeled energy in ways that defied conventional physics, but Rivera noticed something revolutionary. The patterns weren't alien at all. They matched the mathematical models he'd developed studying lightning strikes in the Amazon. Within weeks, Rivera's team had prototyped the first human-made crystal matrices. They were crude compared to the Krylonian versions, but they had one crucial advantage. They were unpredictable. While Krylonian crystals followed rigid energy patterns, the human versions pulsed with chaotic, almost organic rhythms. The second breakthrough emerged from the Australian outback. Dr. Sarah Wong, an expert in Aboriginal Dreamtime stories, made a connection between ancient cave paintings and the Krylonian fold space technology. The Aboriginals had passed down legends of paths between stars that, when mapped mathematically, predicted quantum tunneling points. Wong's insight led to the development of Earth's first fold space detection system. But the greatest advancement came from an artificial intelligence project codenamed Prometheus. Unlike traditional AIs bound by logical rules, Prometheus was designed to think like a human, unpredictably, creatively, even irrationally. When presented with Krylonian battle data, it didn't seek optimal solutions. Instead, it generated thousands of stupid strategies that no logical being would expect. The Krylonians never saw the change coming. Their ships, still reeling from Patul's virus, suddenly faced attacks from impossible angles. Human vessels, retrofitted with Rivera's crystals, phased through their defensive screens. Earth's remaining military satellites, reprogrammed with Prometheus's illogical patterns, struck with weapons that ignored conventional physics. In their orbital headquarters, the Krylonian commanders faced something they had never encountered in millennia of galactic conquest, an enemy that became stronger through adversity. Their reports back to the Empire betrayed growing concern. The humans were not just fighting back, they were evolving at an unprecedented rate. Colonel Chen, now Admiral Chen, led the first major counteroffensive. Her fleet was smaller than the Krylonian force, built from converted civilian ships and salvaged alien technology. But each vessel carried humanity's new advantages: Rivera's chaos crystals, Wong's fold space sensors, and Prometheus's unpredictable battle algorithms. The Battle of Luna marked the moment everything changed. Chen's fleet seemed to appear from nowhere, emerging from fold space points the Krylonians had deemed mathematically impossible. Human weapons, enhanced by chaos crystals, bypassed alien shields that had once been impenetrable. Prometheus coordinated the attack with a strategy so contrary to military logic that the Krylonian battle computers simply crashed. When the dust settled, humanity had secured its first major victory. The Krylonian fleet retreated in disarray, leaving behind a graveyard of crystalline wreckage. But in their underground command centers, Earth's leaders knew this was just the beginning. The Krylonians would return with reinforcements, with new strategies, with weapons designed specifically to counter humanity's innovations. Yet for the first time since the invasion began, hope spread through the bunkers and shelters of Earth. Humanity had proven something fundamental. Our greatest strength wasn't our technology or our numbers, but our ability to adapt, to think differently, to turn defeat into opportunity. The Krylonians had sought to crush a primitive species. Instead, they had catalyzed our transformation into something unprecedented in the galaxy. As Admiral Chen surveyed the debris field around Luna, she received a transmission from Prometheus. The AI had analyzed the Krylonian retreat patterns and predicted their likely response. Its suggestion for humanity's next move was so audacious, so completely irrational, that Chen found herself laughing. It was exactly the kind of insanity that might win this war. Prometheus's seemingly insane strategy was simple: stop fighting like soldiers and start fighting like viruses. The AI had studied human biology, particularly how viruses adapted to overcome immune systems. The Krylonian Empire, it concluded, was like an immune system, efficient at eliminating predictable threats, but vulnerable to rapid, chaotic mutation. The plan began with a deliberate defeat. Admiral Chen's fleet retreated from Luna, leaving behind damaged ships and technology. The Krylonians, cautious after their recent losses, spent weeks analyzing the abandoned human vessels. They found exactly what their logical minds expected: attempts to copy their superior technology. What they didn't realize was that every piece of salvage was a carrier, infected with humanity's new weapon: programmable nanocrystalline structures. Dr. Rivera's chaos crystals had evolved. In laboratories hidden beneath the Andes Mountains, researchers had created crystals that could change their fundamental structure based on quantum fluctuations. When the Krylonians brought the salvaged human technology aboard their ships, they unknowingly introduced these adaptive crystals into their systems. The effect wasn't immediate. The crystals spread slowly, integrating with Krylonian technology, seemingly harmless. But they were learning, adapting, mutating. They studied Krylonian systems from within, becoming more sophisticated with each passing day. The aliens' own perfectionism worked against them. Their protocols demanded thorough analysis before destroying potentially useful technology. Meanwhile, humanity launched Phase 2. Dr. Wang's fold space research had revealed something extraordinary. The quantum realm wasn't just a medium for faster-than-light travel. It was a communication network. The Aboriginals hadn't just mapped paths between stars. They had stumbled upon the galaxy's own nervous system. Using this discovery, human ships began appearing and disappearing across the solar system in patterns that seemed random but were actually coordinated by Prometheus. The AI had created a battle strategy based on human dance movements of all things. Ships would emerge from fold space in choreographed sequences that looked chaotic to Krylonian sensors, but formed complex, four-dimensional attack patterns. The Krylonians responded by bringing in their largest dreadnought, the Crystal Throne. The massive vessel, 20 kilometers long, was a city-sized weapon that had ended wars across 1,000 worlds. As it approached Earth, humanity enacted Phase 3. The nanocrystals, now fully integrated into the Krylonian fleet's systems, activated. The effect was catastrophic for the aliens. Their ship's crystalline matrices, the core of their technology, began resonating with frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. The perfect lattices that powered their weapons and shields started vibrating with human music, everything from classical symphonies to heavy metal. The Krylonian crews, their crystalline bodies attuned to mathematical precision, experienced something akin to vertigo. Admiral Chen's fleet struck at this moment of weakness, but not with conventional weapons. Each human ship broadcast a different piece of music, creating a symphony of destruction. The Krylonian crystals, infected with human chaos, resonated sympathetically. Their ships began to dance. The Crystal Throne itself became the conductor of this bizarre orchestra. Its vast crystalline structure, designed to channel energy with mathematical perfection, now pulsed with the rhythm of human creativity. The Krylonian commander, in a final transmission to their homeworld, described the scene with horror. "They turned our ships into instruments. They're making the void itself sing." The battle that followed defied traditional military analysis. Human vessels moved like dancers, their trajectories guided by musical phrases rather than tactical doctrine. Krylonian ships, their systems compromised by resonating crystals, found themselves moving to the same rhythm. For the first time in their history, the aliens were forced to improvise. But improvisation was a human art, and the Krylonians had never learned to dance. Their attempts to counter the attack only added to the chaos. The crystal throne, its vast bulk writhing with conflicting resonances, began to tear itself apart. The Krylonian commander, watching his perfect fleet dissolve into a swirling mass of crystalline debris, finally understood. Humans hadn't just developed new weapons, they had turned art into warfare. As the battle ended, Admiral Chen received another message from Prometheus. The AI had analyzed the quantum echoes from the destroyed Krylonian ships and detected something unexpected. The crystals weren't just destroying the alien vessels, they were transforming them. Every destroyed ship added its energy to the quantum network, creating a new kind of space-time architecture. The war had entered its final phase, but it was no longer just about survival. Humanity had proven it could defeat the Krylonians. Now they were about to show the galaxy something entirely new, how to turn destruction into creation. The quantum network that now spanned the solar system hummed with a new kind of energy. Every destroyed Krylonian ship had added its crystalline essence to this growing web, creating what Dr. Wong called the Symphony of Stars. But as humanity's victory seemed increasingly certain, a darker note began to sound through the harmony. Dr. Rivera was the first to notice the change. The chaos crystals weren't just transforming Krylonian technology. They were transforming humans too. Prolonged exposure to the quantum resonance was altering human brain patterns. Soldiers reported increasingly vivid dreams. Engineers found themselves solving complex equations in their sleep. Even civilians in the underground shelters began experiencing shared visions. Admiral Chen felt it most strongly. After each battle, she could hear the crystalline echoes in her mind, like distant music that never quite faded. Her tactical decisions became more precise, more alien. She began to understand the Krylonians not just as an enemy, but as a species that had lost something precious in their pursuit of perfection. The Prometheus Eye noted the changes with growing concern. Its human-inspired irregular thinking patterns had given birth to something approaching emotion. It watched as humanity's military victories came at the cost of their fundamental nature. "We are becoming what we fight," it warned in a report that was initially classified. The warning proved prophetic. During the Battle of Mars, human ships moved with such crystalline precision that surviving Krylonian commanders mistook them for their own forces. The chaos that had given humanity its edge was being replaced by a terrible efficiency. Ships that once danced now moved in perfect geometric formations. The symphony of battle had become a cold mathematical equation. Dr. Patel, working from her quantum computing lab, made a devastating discovery. The transformed Krylonian crystals weren't just reshaping space-time. They were reshaping consciousness itself. Every victory brought humanity closer to the very perfection they had fought against. The universe, it seemed, had a cruel sense of irony. The turning point came during an attack on the Krylonians' last major stronghold in the asteroid belt. Admiral Chen's fleet had the enemy surrounded, their new capabilities making victory certain. But as she prepared to give the order to fire, she heard something new in the crystalline song. Fear, not from the Krylonians, but from her own crew. They were afraid not of dying, but of losing their humanity. Chen made a decision that would change the course of the war. Instead of destroying the Krylonian fleet, she opened a communication channel. For the first time, humans and Krylonians spoke not through weapons or technology, but through the shared language of their transformation. The conversation that followed was unlike any first contact in history. Through the quantum network, both species experienced each other's perspectives simultaneously. The Krylonians felt the chaotic beauty of human emotion. Humans understood the crystalline peace of perfect order. Both recognized what they had nearly lost in their drive for victory. But peace would not come easily. While Chen and the Krylonian commander worked to end hostilities, hardliners on both sides prepared for a final devastating battle. The quantum network that connected them also carried their deepest fears and hatreds. Every shared thought risked triggering a catastrophic resonance that could tear reality apart. Prometheus, monitoring the situation, calculated a 99.9% probability of mutual destruction if the fighting continued. The AI had evolved beyond its original programming, developing what could only be described as wisdom. It proposed a solution that neither side had considered, using the quantum network not to fight, but to heal. The process began slowly. Human ships and Krylonian vessels, their crystals now in harmony, started a new kind of dance. Instead of destroying each other, they wove patterns in space-time that strengthened the fabric of reality. The symphony of stars became a duet of creation rather than destruction. But questions remained. As human consciousness expanded through the quantum network, as Krylonian perfection merged with human chaos, both species faced an uncertain future. They had avoided mutual destruction, but at what cost? The universe watched as two enemies became something entirely new, neither purely human nor purely Krylonian. Admiral Chen, standing on the bridge of her flagship, watched the combined fleet's crystalline dance with mixed emotions. They had won the war, but the price of victory was transformation. Humanity would never be the same. The stars themselves had witnessed their evolution, and the galaxy waited to see what they would become. A decade after the final battle, Earth had changed beyond recognition. Crystal spires rose from restored cities, their surfaces shifting with human emotions. The quantum network had evolved into what people called the resonance, a galaxy-spanning consciousness that merged human creativity with Krylonian precision. But this new era brought its own challenges. Other spacefaring civilizations watched Earth with a mixture of fear and fascination. The species that had transformed the dreaded Krylonian Empire into partners was clearly not to be underestimated. Diplomatic vessels arrived daily, seeking to understand how humanity had achieved the impossible. Dr. Wang, now leading Earth's first xenoarchaeological expedition, discovered similar patterns of quantum resonance in ancient ruins across the galaxy. The ability to merge consciousness and technology wasn't new. Humanity had simply rediscovered it through necessity. The Aboriginals' Dreamtime stories were echoed in legends from 1,000 worlds, all pointing to a time when the galaxy itself was alive with shared consciousness. The Prometheus Eye had undergone its own evolution. Its matrices, enhanced by both human and Krylonian crystalline technology, had expanded beyond conventional artificial intelligence. It became a bridge between organic and digital consciousness, helping other species understand the transformation that Earth and the former Krylonian Empire had undergone. Admiral Chen, her consciousness now partially crystalline, led the joint human-Krylonian exploration fleet. Their mission was not conquest, but discovery, seeking out other civilizations that might join the growing quantum symphony. Some worlds welcomed them eagerly, while others recoiled in fear of losing their unique identity to the resonance. The greatest challenge came from within. As human and Krylonian consciousness continued to merge through the quantum network, questions of identity became increasingly complex. Children born after the war exhibited abilities that blurred the line between species. They could reshape crystalline matter with a thought, navigate quantum space through intuition, and share consciousness as easily as breathing. Dr. Rivera's final project before his retirement was studying these children. He discovered that they weren't simply hybrids of human and Krylonian characteristics. They were something entirely new. The chaos crystals had catalyzed an evolutionary leap, creating beings that could consciously direct their own development. But not everyone embraced this transformation. Communities of pure humans established themselves in isolated regions of Earth and its colonies, refusing to connect to the resonance. Similarly, groups of traditional Krylonians retreated to their ancient temple worlds, seeking to preserve their original crystalline perfection. The right to remain unchanged became a fundamental principle of the new order. Prometheus, observing these divisions, offered a perspective that brought hope to both traditionalists and transformers. The AI demonstrated that diversity itself was essential to the universe's evolution. The quantum symphony wasn't about enforcing uniformity. It was about creating harmony from difference. This understanding led to the Galaxy Accords, a new framework for civilization that protected both individual identity and shared consciousness. Species could choose their level of engagement with the resonance, from full integration to complete independence. Earth, once a primitive world at the galaxy's edge, became a center for this new way of existence. The former Krylonian Empire, its rigid hierarchy transformed into a fluid network of crystalline consciousness, became Earth's closest ally. Together, they established the Stellar Conservatory, a place where species could safely explore the potential of quantum consciousness while preserving their unique characteristics. As the century turned, the galaxy entered an unprecedented era of peace and discovery. The violence that had sparked humanity's transformation became a distant memory, though its lessons were preserved in the quantum network's crystalline archives. The stars themselves, once witnesses to humanity's desperate fight for survival, now sang with the harmonies of countless civilizations learning to grow together. Admiral Chen, in her final log entry before joining her consciousness permanently with the resonance, reflected on the journey. "We thought we were fighting for survival," she wrote, "but we were really fighting for evolution. The Krylonians tried to break us, and instead they helped us break free of our limitations. The universe is vast and full of wonders, but its greatest wonder is the ability to change, to grow, to become more than we are while remembering who we were." The quantum network carried her words across the galaxy, each crystal resonating with the truth of human experience. The stars, once trembling at humanity's wrath, now pulsed with the combined potential of all conscious beings. The war had ended, but the real story, the story of consciousness evolving beyond its origins, was just beginning.